Happy holidays, Lance.
Happy holidays, Danny.
Do you have? I'm great. Do you have anything that you really want for Christmas this year? What do you want for Christmas, little boy? Ho, ho, ho! And what's your name, little boy?
Oh my goodness!
Was that scary?
That was terrifying. That was terrifying. Wow. Happy holidays. Whatever you celebrate, Merry Christmas to one and all. It's the Slasher's Paradise holiday episode, and it's going to be a little different this year. I'm so excited. Danny's got Santa Claus 0. This is coming after the episode where I talked about Michael Myers 0. That's perfect.
Oh, it is.
Welcome, everybody. I get excited around this time of year because honestly, the first year of Slasher's Paradise was really fun, and this was like what we did right after we did the Halloween franchise, which was our only goal originally. We bled into the holidays, and we decked out the paradise, and it was so much fun. So every year I get a little more excited to do some Slasher's Paradise stuff for the holidays. And Danny, I'm so glad we're here for yet another holiday with Slasher's Paradise.
I am too, Lance. I am also seeing my reflection or my feed here, my camera feed, showing me how crazily contradicting I am wearing my Dr. Pepper sweatshirt while drinking a Coke Zero. I'm very aware at this point, but it only clicked at this moment. Here's what I'm trying to say. There is something about the holidays that I think is a mix of cozy, fun, exciting, happy feelings, and yet there is something very, very scary about the Christmas holiday season. Just inherently, there is something spooky about it. I can remember being certain ages, obviously in my life, where the Santa is coming to bring gifts. There's something scary about that, obviously, right? And then there's just like the season changes and it's getting dark a lot sooner, and all this stuff like dread being, associated with the darkness and stuff like that. So you try to put some lights on it and stuff so you can fight the darkness or whatever. But I don't think I'm alone in thinking this. I think there is something very naturally spooky about the Christmas holiday season.
I 100% agree. It's the dark days are upon us. I think our sunset today was at 4:45 in the afternoon or some crazy thing. By the way, it's a full moon tonight. It's the cold moon, so I hope everyone's out there bathing up the moonlight and re-energizing yourself for the end of the year.
Someone asked getting laid tonight. Sorry.
You talked about
that is. Let me just say that is my Texas sort of knowing about the full moon cycles and livestock breeding around the full moons. And, right now, if the houses are rocking, don't bother knocking. Right now, you can be out in the ranch right now, and you could see without turning on your truck lights or anything. You could just see. And that's when the pigs, they're running after each other. And seriously, that song is playing because you know how they're trying to get down in the moonlight, baby.
Wow. It's funny, just that alone, like the full moon in December, I just kind of remember that as a kid. It lights up the neighborhood, and it's always more quiet. It's always colder. There's just that kind of creep factor. And then, mix in, we're 80s, 90s kids, so we had the incandescent lights and the soft glow off those lights going through the house and all that kind of stuff. So definitely, I think, probably a creepier time of year, at least for Californians, than October can be. So I'm living the dream right now. I love this stuff. We've talked about horror films during this time of year. We've talked about Black Christmas, which is still probably my favorite so far. We've talked about Krampus, which was I think we had probably the most fun we've ever had because we got to talk about a lot of family holiday stuff with that one. I thought that was really cool. But I thought it was really interesting if we kind of look back at some of the holiday favorites that are on TV right now and find the horror in the holiday classics. And that's kind of what we're going to do tonight. Danny, I really want to ask, usually we do, a drink of the night, but what's your holiday drink before we get started? Maybe somebody else can to get in on it.
I have never really been a big eggnog fan. I'm going to be honest. Like, it's just something about the taste or the texture. Maybe I just have had bad eggnog. I think the best eggnog for me is the one that Cousin Eddie is dunking and Clark is dunking as well. It's good. There's something.
It's good.
I just kudos to Chevy Chase, the actor, man. What a force. But it's something about that. I know my brother told me, it was like one of the first commercials I ever booked. I have to be sipping coffee out of a mug, and I don't drink coffee. I've tried, and I don't like it. But they were like, "Hey, so you're drinking coffee?" And I'm like, "That's fine." They're like, "Do you like coffee?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Well, we'll just put hot water or whatever, so you can just act like it." And obviously, you put hot water in a mug, eventually, just like coffee, it's going to get cold. So I just remember like taking a sip and acting, and my brother he would always tell me, he's like, "Damn, man, that coffee looks freaking good." It's just how I was like capturing the moment. It's like, and it's hot, right? Okay. Chevy in Christmas Vacation, he drinks that eggnog, and it's something about the sound mixing when he dunks it, and it's like, and he's got the Wally World mug like you have. And I was just always like, "Ooh, I wonder." So I have given eggnog a shot a few times. And I will say, actually, what I was introduced to with my wife's family one time we were in Alabama, it's the eggnog ice cream that you make it. You make like a float, but you pour, and I'm missing the drink or the alcohol that you pour on it, and you mix it up, and it's fun. It's like it's like spiked ice cream float, but it's eggnog. So whatever, and it's a dark liquor, so I remember that at least. So it's either rum or bourbon, whiskey, or whatever. But if I were to say, like right now, what would be my holiday drink? It's just something about, I guess, cinnamon and spice, and it has to hurt. And so just a nice blended Canadian or just a nice bullet bourbon whiskey on the rocks would just do me all right. Yeah. However, I am probably going to have a different take on this because I have had a few drinks with this whiskey already. The Howler Head Banana Whiskey. It is in my bar over there, and maybe there has to be some sort of sweet element. So maybe it's like whiskey that's has a little bit of cinnamon, not Fireball, gross, go away. But yeah, something like that it has to burn a little bit. That's me right now. That's me.
Right now.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, I can get down with the eggnog and some Southern Comfort.
That's what it is.
One night.
That's what it is.
Is it SoCo?
It's SoCo.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, there it is. Yeah. So eggnog ice cream with SoCo. There, boom.
Or a little Di Serono. I just did that at my parents' house the other night. They had that. I never buy that. That's just something I kind of. But it's got this like cherry to it that's so good. This flavor's so good to it. So it's that, and then like you said, a whiskey with like a cinnamon stick and a little bit of orange. Get the cherry out of there and make it a little more spicy. If you can spice it up, I can't do Fireball, but I kind of want that spice in my whiskey. So it's the same kind of thing. Yeah, I like that. Maybe neat, no ice on that one.
You get the cherry out of your drink and just throw it into mine because I can dig it. I like it. Personally, but yeah, hey, Di Serono on the rocks. Do you remember that commercial? I was like, am I too young or not rich enough to drink Di Serono because of this commercial? Di Serono on the rocks, Di Serono neat.
That's funny. It's you were talking about Chevy and the way he kind of chugs that eggnog. I'm like, he's thirsty. And I know that thirst at the holiday party where you're like, anything is gonna just be water and just kind of go down. And yeah, he's a thirsty man in that moment. And it's good. All right. So I want one more. Like, do you have a scary story from the Christmas time of year? Do you have any memories of I don't know, a creepy time or anything like that? Did the house on the ranch used to creep you out at all?
You know, there there's something about this time of year, especially when I was growing up, and a lot of outdoor parties were happening. But I mean, in South Texas, man, when it gets cold, it gets blistering cold because it's usually a cold front riding its way in. Usually, like a really cold system might bring some rain, might not. But man, there's always wind, and the wind is a chilly, chilly wind. So I just remember always having some sort of like it was like a family gathering. Relatives have birthdays as well in the Christmas time. But there's just something about it was always accompanying someone is burning wood outside, like they have a fire in like either a pit, and not a go buy it at Walmart pit, a dug pit, like in the ground where all the hombres stood around, the fire with their brush jackets, and the hombres are talking, so don't even try and go interrupt. But here's the thing: is like at one point I remember there being a shift. We were getting a little older, and my dad and my uncles, they would just like they like picked up on it, and they were knowing that we were wanting to, because we were getting older, we wanted to go hang out with the hombres, right? So we were kind of like drifting towards the circle there. We got our jackets and we're like, yeah, it's crazy. Like, so they like, I think they mess with us on purpose. So they're over here telling, it's always hunting stories. It's like, oh, and then he came out, and the deer came out. And I just remember always hearing some of my uncles tell these stories about these deformed deers that had been lost in the woods, and they're out there, it's like the Jersey looking,
the Jersey Devil.
Yeah. Yes, just like the Jersey Devil. And I just remember hearing stuff like that. So like, when Krampus came out and he's on top of the roof for a little bit, like that was
yes.
like because the horns, and it's something about the wood burning, talking about these like, legendary animals that are, so hard to kill. They wouldn't say like chupacabras or anything. They would say, no, this is a deer that hey, someone saw it, or it was always like because there could be mountain lions that lived in South Texas, but nobody ever really saw one. And so they're out there, shit like that. And I just remember because like they're telling the story and you got to do the sniffle in between. You're like, yeah, because it's cold, but you're tough, and you got the brush jacket, and the brush jacket is like, it's made more for form and not function. It's like you're supposed to put it on when you're going through on horseback, and the mesquites wood can hit you and brush off. It's fine. So it's like a deterrent, but it's not lined with like wool or anything like that. It's just cool. It's just a cowboy jacket, and yeah, I could see it. And so sometimes when I'll walk outside, I'll want to smell that smoke burning from a fire out. And if I do, instantly, I'm, looking for these animals that are out there.
It's so funny because the way you set this story up, it brought me back to your wedding, and I remember looking over my shoulder and just seeing, like, I think it was your dad and your brother, they're smoking cigars in the distance, it was in the heart of the party. I was just like, man, I want to go there and smoke with those guys and just hear stories of the ranch and what's going on. Like, you just wanted to be a part of that,
Yeah.
I get it, man. That's cool. You set that up pretty perfectly.
What about you?
I remember being a kid and like we were in a 2-story house and we had this really cool balcony look over into one big room, So the Christmas tree was probably like 8-9 feet tall. And the ceiling was just a cathedral ceiling, but underneath was like the first story underneath the second story. That's what creeped me out. That was like the cave kind of a thing, So every Christmas I would kind of look over the balcony and look at the Christmas tree. And like I said, those incandescent lights, that was the only light in the entire house. And it's just kind of like that throbbing from the, that pulse from the old music box, which I just bought, dude. nostalgia hit me so hard, and I found like the box from Kmart from like 1985 that my parents had growing up. So I just found that and bought it this year. I was like, I gotta have that. But so that's all you had in my house was just like these lights just kind of pulsing through. But all I could think of was underneath me was the fireplace and Santa doing work, probably, you know, or hiding from me because he knew I was there or whatever. So the creepiness of that house and the sheer darkness and all that always kind of played with my mind. And I think that's why I love Black Christmas so much. There are so many scenes in that movie where it's the modern horror. It's the back rooms look to a lot of things. I remember one of the characters like looking in the closet right before she gets bagged over her head, you know, and there's just these long scenes, you know, and just the way it was filmed, that kind of analog film and that static in that movie just kind of creeps me out, and it reminds me of my childhood Christmases. But that was what creeped me out, was 2 a.m. Christmas morning, and I just was excited but terrified at the same time, like somebody's in my house right now. Yeah. So,
yeah, I mean, there is something about the off in the distance. Black Christmas, as you mentioned, does it so well, and I know I make this comment, and I'm going to say it anyway, but it's also like the off red to green, to red to green, and it's just like alternating, and it's almost because it's so old school that you even hear the click, you know, you almost hear the click off of when it's changing colors, and it's something that Black Christmas did so well, because obviously the lights are, you know, around the house and around some of the windows, but it's something about the third story in the attic, and it's like, you know, why are lights up there? I don't know. It's like it's far away. I really can't even describe it, but it's something about like these are supposed to be a jovial sort of aesthetic with these lights that we've adorned this house with, and yet inside, terror, mayhem, massacre, and you wouldn't even know it. Again, playing back into that suburbia, what's going on behind closed doors thing, and it's like, no, everyone's participating. Everyone has put lights and decorations all over their house. Obviously, everyone's in a good mood, right? Wrong. They're faking us out. Anyway, that's it.
That was the perfect segue, because I want to talk about some horror elements in some of our favorite holiday classics. And what you just set up is Christmas Vacation, pretty much. The lights on the house, and we have no idea what's going inside of that home as Clark Griswold starts to lose his mind. But watching that movie as a kid, there is a 100% pure horror film moment, and that is Clark Griswold coming out to the piano, ding, 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 wearing the hockey mask with a chainsaw. I remember as a kid, like, I was becoming obsessed with horror, and I was like, wait, what movie am I watching? What movie am I watching? Like, I can't wait to see what this is, you know, and that scene always stuck out to me. You know, like, as a kid, you can get kind of confused on, like, what goes to what movie, and I was like, what horror film are we watching? I thought we were watching Christmas Vacation. That scene... I'm gonna dress up as him one year for Halloween, for Christmas, whatever. I just have to. I even have the freaking hat. Merry Christmas, kiss my ass, kiss his ass, kiss your ass. Happy Hanukkah.
Yes,
I love it so. I love that movie as it is, but looking back on it now, Clark Griswold losing his mind, and we don't know. It's maybe that was like the intro to him losing his mind, but him coming out and freaking out.
Julie Louis
Margot.
Yeah,
Margot.
I don't know, Margot.
That scene, man, just always stuck in my head. And I was like, why was that scene a thing? Like, why were we so obsessed with horror films that we had to put it in Christmas Vacation? I just loved it so much.
No, I mean, you make a great point, but obviously the slashers were dominating that decade, whether anyone liked it or not. So I think they were right to put a homage to a few slashers, obviously Jason with the mask, and then you know Leatherface with the chainsaw. But dude, there's, I think Fright Rags are like really leaned into it. They've made the Clark scary shirts and stuff like that. Those are that's so great. But I mean, yes, it's like he puts the mask on, he's got the chainsaw, and he's like, bend over and I'll show you, is absolutely one of the quintess. I mean, that screams that it was improvised. But yes, I mean, for what is the beautiful, mission that we took off on with adorning and loving our slashers, what better way to start it off with our spooky slasher nod than in Christmas Vacation, of course. And he goes to fucking town on that tree and gets it in the house. But yeah, that's I great moment. Nice call out.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where we had to start, with this one. But man, it's just iconic. Again, as a kid, it can kind of confuse you on what movie you're actually watching, and like I think I even bought that shirt for my mom because she was such a huge fan of it.
Yeah, well, speaking of like shirts and dressing up for okay, so like everyone knows the Christmas sweater at the Christmas party sort of thing. We're doing the ugly Christmas sweater for a few Christmases in a row. I was wearing, and this is a action, pretty like gruesome action shoot 'em up movie in Die Hard, but I will always say it's a Christmas movie, even though Bruce Willis came out at his roast and said Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. I'm sorry, Bruce, not going to agree with you ever.
I'm sorry, but Hulu now says that it is. It is in the Hulu holiday
good
area. So
good. And I read I have a book that I read every year. It's the night before Christmas, but it's the entire Die Hard plot. So it's fantastic. So here it is. The sweater that he sends Marco or Carlo, I forget what his name is. He sends the one that he takes the detonators from, and he's wearing the gray sweatpant on sweatshirt, like gray on gray thing. I always think about that moment because when he walks around that terrorist, when he's walking around and he's wearing just gray on gray, like nondescript sweatshirt sweatpant combo. I think about that all the time when I'm about to head out of the house and I have even remotely the same gray on gray. I'm going to be like, someone's going to call me out as being the guy from Die Hard.
That's perfect.
So he obviously, gets the business from John McClane. John sends him down in the elevator, but on that gray sweatshirt writes, "Now I have a machine gun." Because, Alan Rickman's Hans Gruber reads it. For 4 Christmases in a row, I made that sweatshirt, that sweater, and wore it to Christmas parties. Here's the thing. You can't really wear that at like a corporate Christmas party. It says, "Now I have a machine gun." So it's a little tone deaf. But for people who got it, they for sure got it. Even I think my wife even wore it wore one. She was like, they were doing an ugly Christmas sweater or a Christmas sweater party and I want to wear that. And I'm like, wear the shit out of it. And I think everyone was like, I know. But yes, the look of him, and I'm forgetting the name. It's like either Marco or something. But the look of him dead in the elevator, that image right there is obviously terrifying. Not that it's a feel good movie anyway, that it's Die Hard, but still, you mentioned the outfit. I had to talk about that sweater.
Absolutely. Speaking of movies that were never considered Christmas movies, but now they are being considered Christmas movies. I have another one that has a terrible horror section part of this. How's your friend Fred Atkins? Oh, hiya, Max. I'm Fred's hand.
You want to go to the other body parts?
How terrifying was the Penguin in Batman Returns? Which is a Christmas movie, 100%. I have to watch it every year now. I'll skip the first one. But,
gosh, yes, dude.
The Penguin in general in that one, I mean, he literally bites somebody's nose and there's blood gushing everywhere. But that scene where he pulls out Fred's hand out of a stocking to show Max, I've got all the dirt on you, including Fred's hand. dude, that always sticks out in my head. Like, he literally pulls it out of a stocking. I think it's one of the funniest and scariest things I've ever watched as a 4-year-old kid watching a Batman movie.
Oh, it could be worse. My nose could be gushing blood.
Your nose could be gushing blood.
Yeah. Okay. See, listen. Just Batman Returns takes me to a very specific core memory, like slew of them when I was growing up, going to McDonald's and getting the cups, and watching it, obviously, and just like everything, like, this is not Burgess Meredith going, wah, 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 which is more of a duck than anything, but neither here or there. That's Mickey. I can't really say anything, but I'm going to say that, once you see the penguin, and this is like very jarring of a depiction, and Danny DeVito knocked that shit out of the park. But yes, it's like, okay, can we get Catwoman? Because I'm scared. Because he's scary. He's so freaking scary. Because they went truly mutant, half man, half penguin style, which I think pretty much is the lore. But I'd have to defer to a Batman expert. But yes, wear buttons.
I've never seen a mutant penguin. I think he was always like an arms dealer or some shit like that. So
an aristocrat with a very pointy nose. Yeah.
Yes. That blue goo coming out of him constantly. That onesie that he's wearing. It's so funny. Again today, I saw a reel.
That's what I look like in a onesie.
I saw a reel of Danny DeVito talking about working with the real penguins, and he said one just
yes,
I know. As he was doing a scene, the penguin came and like jumped and like bit him in the nuts and just like got a mouthful.
Yep,
and he like swats him away on screen. Oh my god!
Oh, if y'all have not seen this clip, it's him on the Graham Norton show telling this story. It is so good. He's like, the penguin is a little. Or it was the monkey who did it. That was it.
The monkey. That's right. Yeah,
that was it. It was the monkey. Yeah. But in any case, there were real penguins around, and I just remember that. We're kind of derailing a little bit but anyway, when some of all the penguins they have like real penguins, right? And then they have like little people in penguin suits who give them that like water burial. I just remember feeling sad because I'm like, no. These penguins are so sad that their big penguin guy died. Anyway, I digress. I'm going to go ahead and say something. Listen, I think that it's high time that we all stop fucking pretending that just because something has been, I don't know, on air, whether it's TBS or TNT or HBO or whatever, for a long period of time, suddenly just makes it, oh, you know what? That is a Christmas classic movie. No, that is not true. And I think we should all stop pretending that the Polar Express is a staple of the holiday season. Why? Because that movie is so freaking jarring to look at. I was like, oh my God, but Tom Hanks, he played 3 characters. That's irrelevant. I can't get past this technology that they used. And I think they used the same thing for Jim Carrey's A Christmas Carol. But you want to talk about scary? As soon as I saw the trailer for the Polar Express, I was terrified. I'm like, I don't feel good. I don't want to watch this. It's the teeth. They're like round, and like the bodies are like sort of Gumby looking. But the thing is like they're all mocap, so it's really them acting. Anyway, the Polar Express. You want to talk about spooky moments in holiday classics? The entirety of what it looks like is terrifying to me.
I think a few years ago I put out like a little like survey for people like, hey, what's like your favorite holiday film? It wasn't horror related. I just want to know what people liked. And somebody said The Polar Express, and I was like, with the deadest eyes, the scariest eyes. She never talked to me again, so I feel like I offended that person. I feel really bad. I'm so sorry about that. But those dead eyes in the movie, listen, I grew up reading them. I had that book read to me. I like the idea of it. It kind of captures the creepiness of that late night, you're awake, but the family's asleep, and where's Santa kind of a thing. But the movie, delivers this terrifying interpretation of the book. There's one really cool character in it that I do think is very creepy, and that's the hitchhiker, which Tom Hanks also plays. He just kind of fades into. You haven't seen it, right? Or have you seen it? You're just
no, I've never
seen
it. I can't even start. I can't start it. I can't start the movie. I try to watch the trailer, and dude, every single year it's like Christmas movies, right? And then I start putting them on my ad list, like, okay, gonna watch this, gonna watch this, gonna watch this, gonna watch this, and it's like, what's the one I get to expand? This year, we're gonna get to it here in a little bit, but this year is a huge, like, I can't believe I've never watched this. It's probably because it was never really like available for me.
Yeah.
But this year I added a new one that is a classic, so there is one that's in the rotation. But every year, I'm like, is this the year I make myself watch the Polar Express? And for this podcast, I actually looked it up, looked at the trailer again, and I couldn't do it. What I ended up doing was putting the Christmas Carol starring Jim Carrey, where he plays all the different characters. And right out the bat, the first frame, terrifying. So no, I have not seen, nor do I think I'll ever see the Polar Express.
I understand 100%. I get it. Don't watch it. It doesn't really capture the Christmas magic to me. It's just a little terrifying.
I mean, so it's almost like is it just Tom Hanks flexing? You don't want to be bamboozled. You don't want to go down the primrose path. I just know that part.
Yeah, it pretty much is. Yeah. Okay, so It's not. Okay, sorry. Thank you. And while we're on this, no, I'm not going to say that. No, never mind. I'm just what? Oh, I want to know.
I never got the elf craze, man. It's just not. I don't. The Will Ferrell elf movie.
We were just talking about that the other day.
It's not for me.
Yeah, same. It's a little over the top, and yeah. Anyway, that's not. I don't know. Besides him, besides the fact that he's camping out in a mall, that's about the only scary thing about that, and a grown man doing that. But
yeah, no.
We digress. You mentioned A Christmas Carol. There's many different takes on A Christmas Carol. Some are good, some are boring, some are. We both have something to bring to the table. I'll go first, and mine is Bill Murray in Scrooged, his boss and best friend, and the corpse makeup that they chose for this. As a kid, okay, so let's talk about Bill Murray for a second. As a kid, I was like, I guess he's funny. I don't know. I guess he's adult humor. Maybe I'll get it one day. But Scrooge always came on, and I wanted to watch it for some reason. It captured like adult Christmas to me. It's like corporate world and all that kind of stuff. It is a version of A Christmas Carol, but when he meets his boss Lou Hayward as like the foreseeing ghost, this corpse is so dusty. It's supposed to be a ghost, but he like comes crashing through the wall, and I always remembered that scene because yet again I'm like, wait, what movie am I watching? What is this? This is cool, but also terrifying, and like one of the best like zombified. I remember that was always the thing, right? Was like, especially like late 80s into the 90s. The corpses are always like spitting out dust. You know what I mean? So there's just dust coming off of him, and the makeup's so good. His voice is so creepy, and he's so casual because he's like making a drink at his own bar. He's wearing sunglasses, and I remember that jumping out as so terrifying to me as a kid, but I was so fascinated with it. I know I mentioned it to you a little earlier, and you mentioned the cab driver as well, which is fucking horrifying in his own right. Yeah,
because he's like, he likes it hot, but he's also like smoking or something. I just remember his teeth being yellow or something like that. Were you talking about Hocus Pocus, by the way?
I was talking about Hocus Pocus and Billy.
Billy, right?
And,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when he opens the mouth. Thank you.
Yeah.
There was a way that corpses were kind of done back then that just, it's probably more correct, but.
I've seen Scrooged once, right? And I remember liking it, and I've pretty much always been a fan of Bill Murray. I never really went down the Bill Murray's a serious actor, which like he can act, right? But for me, Bill Murray lives in a pretty tight, sort of box. And I just remember this, this movie being like one of those that just kind of eluded me. I never really watched it. So I remember one year I was like, I'm gonna watch it, and I watched it, and I just remember thinking, this corpse character, I might be confusing two separate characters, but there's something about the way he looked that remind me of the judge from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Just because of the glasses, but there's a part, obviously, at the end of Who Framed Roger Rabbit where he gets Eddie Valiant and he just kind of makes him look at him. He's like, like, look at me. Like, I know I'm scary. Look at me. Okay.
Yeah.
Fucking terrifying. But there's something about that. I don't know. I felt like we should not want to look at this corpse because it's very jarring, but you're making us look at you because you're a huge plot point and we have to talk to you. And I just want to be like, okay, cool. Yeah. Can I move on now?
Divert your eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't talk to you. You're gross looking. But I will tell you that obviously Christmas Carol is a very terrifying tale. Like the Charles Dickens, story novel is terrifying. It's so terrifying.
Yeah.
And of course, there've been multiple iterations of it. I've already mentioned Jim Carrey in A Christmas Carol, which is that stupid, dumb technology that they probably use for the Polar Express. And I'm so glad it didn't take off. But it was because Jim Carrey knocks it out of the park, just like Tom Hanks knocks it out of the park, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, but you're almost like, I'm taken out of it because of this, like, and the hair is like, it's wavy, it's soft. It just didn't land for me. And everybody's like, the proportion is anyway, it's off. But you think I'm going to talk about that as being a very scary moment because the entire thing is very jarring. Even when he's like the ghost of Christmas past, he's like a flame. He's like, something like that, right? It is not that. It is actually in A Muppet Christmas Carol. Lance, there is some spooky shit going on in A Muppet Christmas Carol, and I'm going to tell you why. Here's the thing about A Muppet Christmas Carol. I love the Muppets because they're like, hey, we're going to tackle A Christmas Carol. It's Disney, but we can't really get away from some of these major plot points in the story. So we're going to have to show things like the ghost of Christmas yet to come. And they made this humongous Grim Reaper looking Muppet, but you still don't see his face, and like Michael Caine's crying to him, "Oh, please, spirit, no, I will honor the past, the present, and the future." Like he's doing it, and as a kid, you just got done with the first two ghosts, and you're feeling good because they're fucking Muppets, and he gets to that part, and you're like, I'm scared now. Even Gonzo and Rizzo run off. They're like, "Oh, folks, this is too scary. We'll see you later." So there's a little bit of like, okay, is Gonzo and Rizzo coming back? But it's not even that. I promise you all, you do not think that. I know you all don't think this is scary, but I do. I think it's scary. It scared the shit out of me as a kid. I hated this part when it would come up in the opening credits song, basically, with their first musical number, when it's like, when a cold wind blows, it chills you to the bone, right? So it's that song, and there's nothing. Okay, so like the song slaps. Like I'm not even gonna fuck it around. Like that song rocks, right? And it's like, and it gets going, right? There's a part. So it's the whole township all singing the song, and at one point, it's like this group of cabbages, set up this other, horses to take over the song. But at one point, these doors on this house fling open, and these two evil-looking, menacing-looking cats, Muppet cats, take over. Lance, stay with me. They take over the song, and they are purposefully being creepy. The undisputed master of the underhanded and their eyes are like, and they're looking at mice as they're doing it. So they're saying, we're singing, we're part of the song, but don't get it twisted. We're about to eat your ass. I just never looked forward to those cats because I always had a situation with cats, and I always thought they were assholes, and I always thought that they were like trying to get me. And then here comes these two cats who sing it into existence, who let me know that not only are they full of shit, but they're evil and they're ready to pounce. albeit through a musical number.
It is well documented, your theory on cats and your issues with cats. I'm gonna have to rewatch that one to understand it. The scare factor on that one did not pop out to me. So
another one, real quick. There's just it's blink and you'll miss it, but I think it's when they go to the Ghost of Christmas Present, or it might just even be like right after this song. But there's just like a group of kids, like Muppet kids, who are being led in a little choir, and they're not even doing anything. They're like in the bottom left-hand corner or the bottom center of the screen, and they're just going, and it's the way they make these kids. They're like cherub, like Cabbage Patch Kids, and then at one point one of them gets punched. You know when a Muppet gets punched, and then so the handler just kind of like squeezes the mouth, and it goes, like that.
Yeah, like sucks it in. Yeah.
It's scary. That's it.
Isn't that the only thing I remember about this was a teacher had the class watch this movie once, and I feel like he stopped it because I think it's Meep, one of the Muppets, flips off the camera.
I don't remember that.
I'm going to go back and confirm that actually happened, but I feel like I remember that, and the teacher thought it was funny and was like, paused it and showed us that. But I'm going to go back and watch this one just because you brought it into the Paradise.
However, I will just say, I know we are a horror film podcast, and I know this is about spooky stuff in Christmas, but I do have to just say this is just a PSA for anybody who is going to be watching the Muppet Christmas Carol for the first time. You need to find the version, which exists on Disney Plus. You just have to go through the extras. The full version with the full song of when he's visiting his past self, and it's when love is gone. When you watch it, just like for some reason I had the VHS and I never knew any different version. They apparently Disney cut that song out because they were like, it just kind of drags down, the energy. I'm like, okay, but it's an awesome song. Anyway, find the full version with When Love Is Gone, because I just feel like it adds to an extra heartache. Because even then, Michael Caine just starts singing with her, and he's like, it was almost love. And it's like, oh, there's a little bit of Alfred Pennyworth crying. Anyway, that's it. That's all I'm saying.
All right. I think we're down to our last one. You got another movie besides...
It's tough. Like, I think it would be a disservice to our listeners and to everyone who thinks about the spooky stuff around Christmas if we didn't have at least a mention of a few honorable mentions. So I'm torn between two that I want to talk about. I don't know which one I would talk about more of. So I will say I'm going to give an honorable mention to the Bumble, the abominable snowman in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the stop animation. Bumble's bounce! Wahoo! So there's a part where Burl Ives is telling the story, and when the abominable oh my god, okay, seriously, when we were kids, it was coming out on TV, Lance. It was coming out on TV, and right where the abominable snowman is shown for the first time, Burl Ives, the snowman, who's also doing this, like, he's like sliding around on the snow. He's like, wonderful weather we're having. Anyway, he opens an umbrella and he like shudders and he's like, oh, because he's scared of the abominable snowman, and it cuts to commercial. I always thought that was a very scary moment. But then, you're in the cave there with Herbie and he says, it's all settled. I want to be a dentist. And you're like, okay, this is fine. It's all settled. Sorry. I love doing Herbie's voice. So that's my honorable mention, okay? But I feel that we obviously have to talk about the multiple spooky and scary moments in Home Alone.
Yes, it's time.
For me, of course, right off the bat, now I'm going to kick it over to you. The furnace.
Okay.
Were you always scared of that furnace when you would watch it?
Yes. Because I could relate. He's in the basement alone. I didn't have a furnace like that, but it reminded me of ending up in my garage alone in the dark and not finding the light and all that kind of stuff. So, yes, it always terrified me and his experience with it, for sure. 100%.
So it wasn't until it started, like, we started getting stuff like 4K, restorations and stuff like that, that I thought the furnace was just going, just making noises. He says, "Hello, Kevin." I never could.
Really?
Am I? Yes. The furnace says, "Hello, Kevin," at one point. I think he says it the second time, and that's when Kevin's like, "Shut up," right? But the first time, it might just be making a noise. So, but the second time, he definitely says, "Hello, Kevin." Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna maybe that's a Disney ad or something, but I don't remember it ever being like you can actually hear any words. I thought it sounded close to it. But there's something funny about this is because when he's shooting his little like action figure or Buzz's action figures and they're going down the laundry chute, I just always thought like, oh no, it's going down there. Like it's going to the furnace.
You got to go
like,
get him.
No, you can't go down there now. Like that was so terrifying to me. But,
I mean, yes, for sure. I mean, that's like quintessential spooky stuff of Home Alone. Or is it a tie for not enough evidence to convict Buzz telling the story of, check it out, it's old man Marley.
The South Bend Shovel Slayer. That's horrifying.
Yes, it's horrifying.
Great ghost story that you can look in the face. And I always remember seeing old man Marley as they're talking about him and the face that he makes when he stares directly at him, the boots that he's wearing,
everything.
The story itself is actually scary and could be a horror film 100%. Like, how has that not been done yet? It's like he carries a shovel of salt with him. That's where he keeps his victims to make them mummies. Mummies.
Yes, dude. So I think this movie obviously is a masterpiece because the time you finally get to hear Old Man Marley talk, I only want to hear him talk. He's just so wholesome, and he's doing that lip smack that like I do a lot. I know I hear myself, but that also like Jake the Snake Roberts did in his Hall of Fame. He's got brand new dentures, so he's like, man. So Old Man Marley is definitely like, Merry Christmas. When I sit down, he like kind of, and it's like something about an old man with a beard, and he's cold and stuff. It's like it's very Sam Elliott sort of thing, and it's almost like, okay, that sort of talking is definitely appropriate for your character, but up until you hear him talk, it's like, yeah, he's terrifying, especially because they play the like when he sees him. But yeah, the salt turns the bodies into mummies. Whoa, mummies,
dude! That's just built for a slasher flick. Like, book it, write it, let's go, South Bend.
Well, I'll tell you what though, like, yes, that, but also because of the hilarity of some of like obviously the choices for stuff. I to this day, no matter how many times I've seen it, and I do watch Home Alone every Christmas with my wife. When that tarantula gets put on Marv and that scream he lets out, he actually outdoes that scream in Home Alone 2 when the pigeons get him. They both like stop me in my tracks, and I laugh my ass off because of that scream. But the point I'm trying to make here is like, because of the hilarity of the gags and them screaming and like, no, and all this shit, at least I sometimes lose the fact that, no, if they get this kid, they're going to kill him. Like, that's
it's home invasion.
Dude, it's so scary because it's like, he hit him with a paint can, all this stuff. I'm like, no. What if they get him? They're going to kill him, and we're going to have to watch that movie now?
Yeah. They're going to bite his fingers off, right? Like
one at a time.
Cannibals, too. Like, this is a home invasion by cannibals called the Wet Bandits. Like, I it's terrifying. Who came up with this shit? And they're fucking elite home.
Dude, okay, there is, okay, but that's why I think this is the best for last, because it's the quintessential spooky stuff during a otherwise wholesome family holiday movie. Everything. It has everything. It's also the way it's shot, and like this big suburban neighborhood, and it's also like, you know, all these lights are turning on, but the lights are empty, or like the houses are empty. It's sort of that thing. So like it all adds to it. But I got to tell you all something. This is not even a scary thing. It's just me being that whole, you know, growing up with VHS and not being able to make out what they're saying. So when Marv and Harry are he's going through the timings of all the lights turning on so when he gets to the McAllister's one, 671 right now, and it turns on. Okay. He says, and that's the one, Mav, that's the silver tuna. That's the silver tuna, in the sense of like, this is the big one. That's the one we need to land. My whole life, I thought he said, and that's the one, Marv, that's the silver donut. And as a kid, you're just like, yeah, that must be what these gangsters talk about. That's the real donut, isn't it?
That's the real donut. The silver
That's the
donut.
silver donut.
How old were you when you realized that Harry was the cop in the beginning?
Oh, pretty immediate.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know. I know that I am part of a generation that did not realize that for a long time.
I mean, it's obviously like, you know, the tooth, you know, when it sparkles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think it was like because and my brother could probably tell me more or less, but it was him. He was the reason that like I really honed in on it. So when he said, like, you know, it's the part of your journey as a kid that you've now on your 60th or whatever watch of the movie because you own it on VHS, and it's like, this is what we're going to watch. So now you're just ad-libbing afterwards. So when he says, right before he leaves the house in the beginning, he's like, hey, don't worry about me. I spoke to your husband already. And don't worry about your home. It's in good hands. My brother would ad-lib after that. He's like, yeah, good hands to Rob. Right, he would just add that, you know, because that's us kids ad-libbing at that time. And then it was just that. I just remember being like, oh, yeah, because he's the wet bandit. But I credit my brother for being able to bring that awareness to make sure I knew that it was Harry.
Got you. Yeah. What about Marvin getting electrocuted and becoming a skeleton? That's another horror element.
I mean, yeah, that's part 2, right?
Well, yeah, there's a full-on electrocution in it, and then we can talk about the bird lady. That was terrifying as well. And in the middle of Central Park. Have you been to Central Park? Like,
yeah, I've been once. Yeah. Oh, dude, okay, Home Alone 2. Let's just go ahead and jump into it, because when he's lost in Central Park, watch it, kid. Ha, ha,
oh my God, that's right.
Gets in the cab.
Laugh.
Ain't much better than you, kid. And I was like, what's up with that guy? His eye are his eyes busted? No, it's just the way that it was lit. Anyway, it was all scary. I do. No, I'm not gonna. Jesus, don't do that. Okay, so now I have to say it.
Yeah.
I just remember being a kid and being like, oh, this is all scary. Ooh, what do those women want? And as you start to get and as I started to get older and was aware of that side, I was like, if I was Kevin in that moment and they were like, you looking for someone to read you a bedtime story? And I'd been like, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, the watch it, kid, and then it reminds me of the like the alley, you know, sort of world that they built in like Child's Play when they're looking for the guy who sold them the doll. That's what it reminded me of. Anyway, yeah. And also, thank you for saving my life. I'm not bird lady. Here's an ornament of a bird instead of, I don't know, maybe partaking in all these riches that I have at my disposal because of the generosity of Mr. Duncan. Anyway, that's not my joke anyway. That's other people have said this.
It is true. It is sad, but like also like the fact that she has like an inn at that church always kind of like freaked me out. Like there's a bird lady up in the rafters of the church, you know.
Well, no, it's the
the choir or the
that's what it's like, the opera house or whatever.
Yeah. Still Still, she is the Phantom of the Opera. Like, what the fuck?
I always imagine that she is the Phantom. I always imagine that she, got her life together after that point and then became a foster mom for Joseph Gordon-Levitt in Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah.
I think it's the same actor. If not, that's
It is. It is.
Yeah,
100% it is. Right when you said it, I was like, oh, yeah, that's right.
I had a home. I had a family. Anyway.
That's good. Yeah, I like that ending for her, actually. It's pretty
good.
Yeah. Because I got the vibe that's like at any point she could have money and she could be fine. You know what I mean? Like there was some weird kind of sense of like she chooses to do this, but she probably is fine. You know?
Yeah, she chose to be a pigeon lady, but God, yeah, Home Alone for its own, at least 1 and 2, definitely deliver on a lot of spooky, scary vibes and scary moments in what is otherwise considered a holiday movie.
Yeah, truly. I mean, torture, cannibalism, home invasion, slashers. What else? I mean, it's got it all, truly. Honestly, you could peel it back.
Wait, Lance, wait. I said that I added a new movie to my repertoire that it was a classic, and I don't think I ever said it. Because every year I try to see if Polar Express is going to be added. For the first time ever this year, I want to let everyone know, I finally watched the 1969 animated movie Frosty the Snowman for the first time ever. And just think about him melting in the greenhouse and that poor child being forced to see him melt. How horrible. They just show him as a puddle later, but can you imagine her just being there like, Frosty, where are you going? And he's like, happy birthday. And he fades away. They don't show that part, but okay, traumatizing. I don't care that he comes back to life. She had to see him melt. Very scary. Sorry. I had to button that.
The melting snowman. Yeah, no, he ain't coming back, kid. Sorry.
Poor kid, man. Oh, that's traumatizing for sure.
How are we not all traumatized by all these holiday Christmas films? I don't. Maybe we are. I mean, maybe that's why we're here.
Yeah, for sure.
Truly, I mean, you get a taste of horror and everything, so why wouldn't we love horror films the way that they are? I did something really fun the other day. I really, truly, I don't know if I was meditating, like what the hell happened, but I went back to a specific day that I had a good rental day. You know what I mean? Where you got 2 good movies and you got 1 good game. And then today I was like, you know what? All right, I'm going on the Switch. I was playing Donkey Kong today for the first time in like 20 years or something like that. So I was like, yeah, remember when you had a good rental day for the weekend and you got those 2 movies that you'd watch over and over and over again because it was a 2-for-1, and then you got a video game as well and you got to play that all weekend. Like those were the best weekends. I relived one of those days in my head. I was like, all right, and now I'm playing Donkey Kong. It's the way to go.
Hell yeah, man.
Highly recommend everyone do a nostalgia day for your mental health and fun.
Absolutely. Do a nostalgia day, do a nostalgia week, or let it rule your life and make an entire, existence being filled with nostalgia. If I would have had my way, which I did have my way, and I had to end up making the call that but we would have had a wood panel wall in Phelps' garage, and I think that would have solidified it. But we went a different route. That's all. But yeah, Lance. I think it was Uniracers for me was when I got that video game where you were the unicycle and you were doing tricks and stuff. It was that was the game that accompanied my 2 rentals in a game weekend. Oh, you know how sad it was though when it was time to turn them in. That shit was sad.
Yeah,
I think that was when the Sunday Scaries were born.
And yeah, we're feeling those a lot these days. Yeah, I mean that's the day to do your rental day.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it on a Monday or something as an adult. Definitely recommend that one. Again, I want to know what's new out there. I think there's one. Was it like Silent Night? Not Silent Night. There's a new one with I think Justin Long in it on maybe Shudder or something like that. I need to check out.
What a wonderful. No, never mind.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I've seen it. I think it's one of the newest ones. But as mentioned on the Halloween Ends podcast episode, they are remaking Silent Night, Deadly Night, and they're remaking it with Rowan Campbell, I believe is his name, with Corey. Excuse me. So that's coming out soon. But what was the one? Did you find it?
It's called "It's a Wonderful Knife." Yeah, I think
That's
it's like
it.
a horror. It's like a slasher comedy sort of thing. So,
Yeah, I saw it. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, I want to check that out. I know that there's what I see today was like Advent Calendar. I think it's a French film, so I'm kind of down with that. See some subtitles. I want to know what else. What else is everyone watching? I want to know more about holiday horror because I think this is probably my favorite time of year for horror stuff. The long nights, the darkness. There's something about it that's in the cold air is just flowing. So I want to know what else is out there. We're going to cover some of them. So please send it to us. Let us know what you guys think. In the comments section, go to our Instagram at Slashers Paradise. Go to our website at Slashers Paradise. We have new merch for the holidays, so go check that out as well. Danny, what else you got?
Folks, be sure to leave your cookies and milk out for Santa because I just think that we're kind of playing with fire, and I think one year Santa's just going to be fed up with us. So make sure you're on the good list, and you don't want to be on that naughty list when Santa finally decides that it's time to unleash Krampus. I'll just say that. So I do also want to say we definitely hit our stride as a podcast, as a voice in what I believe was the Krampus episode. So please, if you have not had a chance, revisit that. Very excited to be spinning some holiday horror vinyl records. Still will be spinning here in Phelps Garage. Maybe those will be making their way onto our Instagram page pretty soon. So really can echo what Lance said about this time of year. Even especially like as you're going to bed and it's like, I don't know. I'm definitely we got to turn the lights off before we go to bed, sort of, folks. We don't really leave them on all night. That's just the way it is in our household. But there is something scary about turning off that last, Christmas light, and then now you're in the darkness. I don't know. It's just so anyway. Maybe leave that one candle on to ward off those scary things that may be abound, even though we are in a time of fun and love and adventure and happiness. Never forget, the evil is still out there.
Yes. All right. Until next time, that's Danny and I'm Lance reminding you to
lock your doors,
bolt your windows,
and come on in and know me better, man.
Join us next time in our Slashers Paradise.
When a cold wind blows, it chills you to the bone.
Nice. Sweet.
Hey, did you see anything you like?
Thanks for checking out Slashers Paradise tonight. Be kind and rewind by liking and subscribing to our videos on YouTube at Dead Candy.
And if you'd like to continue supporting us wherever you do get your podcasts, we just ask that you rate and review us 5 stars. And if you don't know what to write in the review section, put a horror movie recommendation you'd like for Lance and I to talk about. Also, please visit us on Instagram at Slashers Paradise.
If you need even more Slashers Paradise, head over to slashersparadise.com where you can get drink recommendations, our favorite episodes, and more. Until next time, remember to
lock your doors,
bolt your windows.
And this is Slashers Paradise. Sorry, I had to work that in.
I'm gonna drink on that one.
Okay. Blended Canadian.